know what it is now. Boys and girls of the podcast world. Matt and Tyler on the mics. They're gonna stay here until they agree. They're gonna stay here until they agree. Oh, thank you for listening. This show's called Until We Agree. Oh, thank you for listening.
Oi, bruv. Welcome back to Until We Agree. It's Matt and Tyler.
That's right, lads and lassies. Welcome back to Until We Agree, boys and girls of the podcast world.
Oh, wait a second.
We're doing British, right?
No, yeah, we are doing British. What are you doing?
Oh, that was British, wasn't it? Irish.
That was Irish. And
right.
You know what happened? That they're just not British.
Oh, are they not doing that anymore?
They were never really doing it. I guess you could say they were part of the, like the whole Brexit thing, but they were still Irish.
Oh. Well, I'm sure the British and the Irish won't care. But we have, the reason we're doing this, welcome back, this is Matt from Until We Agree, from Matt and Tyler Until We Agree. The reason we're doing that is we've gone global once again this week. The British are coming onto our podcast. So welcome all the British listeners, all the British rats. We're glad to have you. British and Irish. We don't have the Irish yet, I guess. That's news to me. But welcome back anyways.
Yeah, no, welcome back. Glad to be talking to the English speakers once again, the real English speakers.
Right.
But well, yeah, welcome back everybody. It's been a huge week.
I hope they weren't too confused. Real English speakers, Americans. But
yeah, Americans.
English the rest of the way.
I hate to jump in on a down note, but we do have a note just that we have to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So Hutch, who has brought us into this podcast since the start with beautiful music, has let us know he doesn't love the fact that his music is associated with so much bathroom talk, which, whatever, we have bathroom stories here and there.
Yeah, it's not even that much.
It's really not that much, but, I guess it's too much for his liking, brand-wise. And so I guess we just need to make it clear, our views and Hutch's views are very separate. He is purely the magician. And by magician, I do mean musician. But hey, magician too.
Dude, I saw him yesterday.
Magician in the studio.
He pulled a rabbit out of his back pockets yesterday. Not even kidding.
Wow.
So you actually nailed
way.
that. Yeah.
Did he? And then he made it sing?
He ate its head off. It was alive too. It was terrifying.
Okay, well, I think Hutch has bigger brand concerns than our bathroom talk. But hey, whatever floats your boat there, Hutch. And so yeah, basically his views and our views different. He is the magician / musician, whatever you want to say. That
he drank the blood straight
out
of the neck. It was crazy.
This is a really Ozzy Osbourne
situation. But what's happening? Here's the thing: is yes, views are separate. We're not a bathroom podcast though. At the end of the day, that's not what we do.
No, not at the end of the day, but. It is midday, and I do have a bathroom story.
But right now, we do have a bathroom story, so go and lay it on us.
Yeah, so basically, here, I put it in my notes, because this was like pretty soon after the last podcast aired. I had to use the restroom really bad, and in my reminders for today, it has hold in pee like childbirth on way to hospital. So what I think that means is that when you have to pee really bad, it's just like giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we talked to the ladies last week, and it was ladies' night. Today's boys' night. So we're going through, bad first dates, since, that's a big thing that boys go through on boys' night.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, have you ever had a pee so bad that you feel like you're simulating childbirth?
Well, not
on the way to the hospital.
Yeah, not simulating childbirth or on the way to the hospital. It's worse than that, right?
Oh, probably.
So
I'd never experienced the miracle of life, but if I had, I would assume it would be like not as bad as needing to pee.
Comparable, but not quite there.
And it's really all the same.
It's all so
that's really all I had on the bathroom story. Sorry, Hutch, for bringing that one in.
I think Hutch would endorse that one too, though. So I think we're fine.
No. I think not only would Hutch endorse that one, I think that might have been where I got the idea. He may have told us that.
Yeah. Hutch is going to love the Noah clip today.
No, Hutch is gonna love the Noah clip, and Hutch is also suing us for defamation if after this podcast, I'm sure. So
It's been a good run.
Yeah, but okay. What do you want to get into? What else you got?
You left anyone can do this, by the way. On Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, you can leave questions for us in a discussion section. You left a question for us on Spotify last week saying, Planet of the Apes reminder. What is what is that? I don't know what that even means. I had so many
reminders.
Yeah.
So I have a friend. We have a friend that we hosted here for a weekend, and I will not be naming this friend. It's not ladies' night, but this is a lady friend, who we were watching. We're trying to find a movie to watch. We ended up watching Iron Claw, great movie, sad. Anyways, Challengers that night, also a great movie, not sad. But we go through Hulu, and all the Planet of the Apes are on there, right? And so we're going through, and the thumbnail is Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
A monkey.
And she just, not only a monkey, a CGI monkey.
Mm-hmm. I
think that's important to know because she said, Caesars might hear me out. And if you know what hear me out mean, do you know what hear me out is?
No, this is a new phrase to me. If you could explain it.
Hear me out's like that, like it'd be like some people said about Post Malone. Like he's not like traditionally attractive, but it's like hear me out. Like I do it with Post Malone. And so that's one thing because Post Malone's human. This is a CGI monkey, a CGI ape, if you will. So I wanted to share that with everyone.
Don't a lot of people say hear me out about Ronald Reagan's wife too?
I think I've heard that actually.
Yeah, something to look into, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, sorry.
But yeah, no. I wanted to ask all the web browser women out there, just
which there are many and growing.
If they share that sentiment with Caesar, because I found it creepy first and foremost. But yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts as well.
Creepy first, but then you do think about that fact that it is just a CGI monkey. And how much damage can you actually do to a CGI monkey at the end of the day?
Not much, but it's kind of weird still.
It's a tough thing to carry with you. I think
for sure.
I think ultimately that's something that impacts her a lot more than it impacts anyone else. I think that's something that you don't really shake. It's something that you kind of like acknowledge about yourself at all times, but it kind of just lives in the back of your brain, and you hope it doesn't really come to the surface very often. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not hearing out. I'm probably anti hearing out Caesar from the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah, no, that was a brave or shameless thing to do. I don't know which one, but yeah, I just wanted to share that, get some feedback.
Yeah,
are we all in agreement? Are we the crazy ones?
Yeah,
let us know.
Leave a comment on Instagram until we agree on our next post, which will be up on Tuesday. So when you're listening, you can go comment on our next post, say thoughts on Caesar. We want to know. But speaking of apes, we've got buffalo legs.
Oh, no. That's a ruthless transition.
Yeah. No, buffalo legs, so charming. I didn't know who it was until we got an audio clip. The intern stepped up and did some good work for us this week. Got us an audio clip from Buffalo Legs herself. So I'm so excited to listen to this. I'm sure Tyler is too. So.
Yep, haven't heard it yet.
Why don't we run into Buffalo Legs right here?
Hey, Matt and Tyler. It's your good friend Buffalo Legs. Just wanted to check in and give you guys a little bit of an update. The trauma of being called Buffalo Legs has definitely stayed with me. I'm a winter girly. I like to wear leggings, not shorts, Got to keep those legs covered so I don't have to worry about the hair as much. But no, in reality, I'm married. It didn't hurt my life. Maybe some trauma in middle school. Had to learn how to shave. Definitely had my fair share of razor cuts. But overall, we're doing really, really well. There is a theme in my life of struggling with body hair because you'll be absolutely thrilled to know that I'm also eyebrow girl. Hope that's the update you were looking for, and can't wait to hear what you think about where my life has led to today.
What is up, B-Legs? All right. Great to hear your voice.
Buffalo Legs.
That's sick. First and foremost, though, we just congratulated the intern on doing hard work, and
Right.
I have been proven wrong because
Mm-hmm.
we didn't know that it was the same person. So that was, we just turned, one into two, which is great. We got two great stories, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, let's make
We
it
gotta
clear
do
right
better work
now.
than that.
Buffalo Legs, so innocent in all of this. We are the number one fans of Buffalo Legs in the entire world. It's not her fault that she gave two dynamite stories and the intern got lazy, So again, and the hate comments leave no hate for Buffalo Legs. Seriously. She's our number one.
Yeah, no, I'm Buffalo Legged. I'm not Buffalo
Okay.
Legged. I'm Buffalo Legs' biggest fan.
You're
Actually-
whale blubber legs, I thought.
Yeah, and that still holds pretty true today.
So true today.
I would be happy to send you a picture of my legs to put on the Instagram.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, no, that's sick. That's two, back-to-back clips from last week. One with too much body hair and one with not enough and not enough skin. That's scary.
Less skin than she would like, I would assume.
Now, I feel like the natural next question is, have you tried waxing your legs?
That's a good point. That probably would do wonders, frankly. It seems like that's the solution to any problem she could ever have. Because I don't think, like the wax seems to be a game changer. Wax and Neosporin, I think that was your formula, I think, for solving that issue.
That's smooth skin. I think if you look at any dermatologist website, they just say wax and Neosporin and you have smooth skin now.
100% endorsed, I'm sure. Yeah. So that's awesome. Buffalo Legs, you're welcome back on the show anytime. But one thing I do want to call out, because this warmed my heart more than anything else I heard in that clip. Buffalo Legs is married now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I'm sure the wedding was awesome. I'm sure everything is going so well. But what I'm sure happened throughout the course of them getting married, they had to go on a first date. I would bet money they went on a first date at some point. And
if they haven't, I'd be concerned personally.
yeah, there's probably some conversations to be had at that point. But let's assume they did go on a first date. And let's assume that the boys of Boys Night also have been on first dates before. And I happen to know that some have. And this is a hot button issue. Dating is something that happens in our culture, and you can quote me on that. And what we're going to do tonight is I've collected a few clips. Tyler's collected a few clips, including a dynamite clip from Noah, talking about tough first date experiences. And we're going to listen to them. We're going to listen to Noah's clip, and then everyone else has sent in written clips. And we're going to kind of react to what everyone kind of has had to go through in navigating dating in their early years, formative years. So why don't we start out with...
Not only that, we're going to solve these problems too. Like we're going to fix these dates.
Yeah, so we're going
retroactively.
Yeah, so people can learn. So I'm sure the people who send in the clips, I'm sure they would love to know what to do better in the future, because if anyone has the answers, it's the Until We Agree Rat Pack. And for people who are listening who may not have ever gone on a first date before, who are going on a first date soon, here are some pitfalls to avoid. So why don't we start out with Noah?
All right, bad first date story. So this was with my wife, Taylor, and picked her up, go get some burgers. And after burgers, I had planned to go to Jump Jam, which is like a trampoline park. Well, we're heading there, and my stomach starts grumbling. I'm muffling it. I turn up the volume on the music. We're good. Keep face, keep smiling. Everything's good. No problems over here. Well, we start jumping around. Gets worse. Can't really sneak it. You can't really sneak a couple farts out. You got kids around. You got a potential girlfriend, potential wife right here. You can't be farting around that. Not this early, not this soon. So I hold it in. And it's probably 3 hours, 2.5 hours, however long the first day was. And so I'm driving her back and I'm struggling. I mean, at this point, it's awful. Finally, drop her off. She closes the door and I absolutely let it rip all the way probably home. It was terrible. So it's probably not a bad first date story. It's more of an internal battle that I had to deal with. But yeah, so take it for what it is.
All right. Thank you, Noah. A lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
Like Matt said, Hutch is going to love that story.
Yeah.
Not a bathroom in sight, unfortunately, for Noah, somehow. I've been to that Jump Jam that he's talking about. There is a bathroom. So I'm sure he could have taken a break, but I guess he decided not to. I will say the last place you want to be with an upset stomach is a trampoline park. But yeah, I mean that's
Where-
an easy fix.
Where's
for
the
me,
best
though.
place? I would say maybe the best place is skydiving.
Skydiving would be solid because you're leaving it in the air.
There's so much room,
and,
yeah.
and then you're just kind of you're just keeping it flowing.
Yeah,
Nobody
you,
would
you
know.
keep flying. Yeah, maybe the people who it landed on would maybe know, but other than that, I think you're totally fine up there. But yeah,
Yeah,
jump
I mean,
jam.
Yeah, jump
Let-
jam and International Space Station are the two places you don't want to be.
Yeah, for sure. My thought first is this has nothing to do with the bathroom situation. Jump jam for a first date. For someone he ended up marrying. You know Noah better. When did he start dating his wife?
I'm pretty sure we were in college. I'll be
Okay,
honest.
because they weren't like in middle school.
Nope. And when Noah that was a hint Noah gave. There were kids around, and I can tell you why there were kids around.
it's a child's location.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't go there way too late at some point,
Mm-hmm.
but it is definitely a primary it's a primary birthday location for children.
For children.
That's how we'll put it. Yeah.
And I think it's one thing to go there. I've never been to Jump Jam. And I think but like for like a fun night with the boys, for boys' night, shout out the boys. Not like the most insane thing I've ever heard. A first date with someone who you see a future with. What are our thoughts on that?
It worked out. So I mean, I feel like it's hard to even say anything about it, but that's wild.
I would love to
It's
know
wild.
what and maybe Taylor loved it. Did we say her name's Taylor, by the way? I don't know if we say that.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
He did.
Okay, cool. I don't want to
Dox
dox them, yeah. But I would love to know what Taylor's thoughts were on that as a first date. I'm sure the thing is, it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, he took me to Jump Jam. That's such a red flag. That's so embarrassing or anything. It's not like an embarrassing thing. I would just love to know like what her thoughts were for like what a first date looks like. Because I think we're giving advice to the boys. I don't think I can endorse Jump Jam, and I think Noah maybe not anymore because the
Because
situation
of
he
internal
went through.
issues,
Yeah.
But
But
Noah
yeah, go-
must have done something right at Jump Jam as a thing, and I'll bet it had something to do with dunking on that basketball goal. That's always at one of those, like
Yeah.
there's a basketball goal and you dunk on it.
It probably looks so
but-
sick.
It probably did look so sick, or he won in dodgeball. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. But yeah, I feel like that's a very Noah specific thing. Only he could pull that off somehow, and he did.
Yeah.
So take that with a grain of salt. Just
I
for
think
the
get to know the girl. If that's something the girls would be really into, I think that's totally fine. If this is like a blind first date and you're taking her to get Indian food and then jump around, that's a choice that you have to own at the end of the day.
yeah no you know your own game better than anyone, and Noah called his shot and it worked out. So great on him. But why don't we get into the
Yeah.
next one?
He knew his game, did not know his body. So let's move on to the next one. Why don't you go and read this next one?
All right, sounds good. I will say this one is from a lady out there who had a bad first date experience.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what she said. I once had a mother at church ask me for my number. I gave it to her thinking it was a babysit. It was to babysit, I apologize. It turns out it was her setting me up with her adult son who wouldn't ask me himself.
Okay. We don't know what the fallout was from the date. But at
Did
first,
they have a date? Did they have a date?
I would assume yes, right? Because I think that's a tough situation to be in because like you're like a church is like a kind of like a social setting and to some degree, and I feel like there might be like this pressure to not say to say no. And I think that maybe it's I don't know. Maybe that he seems to be a normal guy, but he had his mother. I would love to know the conversation that the mom and the son had too.
Right. Because the mother apparently didn't make it very clear to the lady that this was for a date. She just asked for the number and that was it.
Right. And so this one's interesting. And then was there any more follow-up from the mom? How was the mom on the date? Those are the questions we don't know yet. I think we need to follow up with the intern and maybe get some more information here. But I would say my first thought from the male perspective is maybe don't do this.
Unless you're very shy.
But even
If
then,
you're very shy,
okay.
what?
No, keep going.
No, if you're very shy and you need your mom's help, there's nothing wrong. The more I think about it, though,
The more you think about it,
maybe we shouldn't endorse that because it's very creepy.
adult son, by the way.
Adult son, we're not 14 here.
I think
If
once
you are
you
14, I think this is cool.
yeah, the Riz portion of our podcast listeners are gonna love this idea and try it out and see what happens. But yeah, I think once you start paying taxes on your income, I think it's at the very least the responsibility falls into your friends, right? I think mom drops to maybe like, I don't know, like 38 or 39th most qualified person to set you up on a date.
Yeah, no, that's a good ranking probably because like if you send a friend over there, it's like, yo, my boy wants to take you out. You interested?
That happens
Because there can't be any misimplication there of, oh, this other young adult wants me to babysit.
right. Yeah, especially if you're a babysitter and a mother talks to you, that's a situation in itself. But yeah, let's just say for men, pay your taxes, ask out girls yourself. At the very least, don't have your mom do it. So that's our advice for this one. Why don't we move on to the next one? So this one is from a male. So we're going back to the male perspective. I talked to the guy who sent me this one, and he agrees that maybe this wasn't the best thing for him to do. So here we go. My girlfriend broke up with me, so I started dating one of her closest friends and roommates for revenge.
This feels mean.
At first thought, mean is definitely the word that comes to mind. Yeah.
Why did the girlfriend break up with him?
That's a great question. I don't know if I have the liberty to answer that. I would just say differences of feelings. You know, at the end of the day, sometimes relationships don't work out. But really, what comes from that is, what do we do when we're faced with this situation? I don't know. Well, you know what? Why not? You know?
Why not like date the roommate?
Yeah, why not date the roommate? Why?
Friend?
I'm starting to talk myself into it as I'm thinking about it. What's the issue?
Yeah, I guess you're already used to the place.
He probably knows exactly where to go and where not to go,
where
especially.
everything is,
Yeah.
especially where not to go, and like his stuff probably is much. If he had any stuff there, it's a cleaner move.
It's
just
so-
to another room.
That's actually a great point. It would be so easy to move. All right.
I'm in.
Yeah. But what's the big? And I think the thing that's the most important to point out here, my girlfriend broke up with me. He didn't break up with her for the roommate.
Oh yeah, no yeah, he's in the clear.
Yeah, I think this is a totally
Now I
rational
do
move.
see a word there at the end. It says revenge. Now that word doesn't seem like a very positive word.
Mhm.
So
And
maybe not the right intentions.
I can
but
I can give more information.
Okay.
This revenge relationship did not last very long.
Okay.
So
So
do
the
with that what
intentions
you will.
weren't great, and the result wasn't great. But we do like and endorse the actions.
I think every word until the last two we're totally on board for, right?
Yeah.
And then
no,
at the
yeah,
end of-
yeah,
like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, like if it's for revenge, it's like revenge is revenge, and I think you're allowed to do that every now and then. So, right?
I think so. I think isn't that what didn't Gandhi say something like that?
I think that is no. I think that's Gandhi or Justin Trudeau. I don't remember which one said it.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right for either of them. But
I hate it.
we'll attribute to both.
I was trying to say Harriet Tubman, but the name would not come to mind.
Huh.
Yeah. Huh. So why don't we move on to the next one?
Yeah, so this one is from another lady. It says, one time a guy asked me out and told me I reminded him of his mom in the first 10 minutes and asked me where the best place to buy crack is by the end of the date.
No
So lots of
way.
stuff wrong with this one. Lots
Yeah,
of stuff wrong with
A
this
lot
one.
to dissect here.
Yeah. So, let's go one at a time. One time a guy asked me out. We're off to a great start.
Yeah. So far, so good.
We are off to a great start.
Yeah. So far, the best of
And-
any of the situations we've
Yeah.
talked through.
No, yeah, we're 1-0.
Mhm.
And told me I reminded him of his mom in the first 10 minutes.
1-1.
Now, here's where we
Yeah.
go downhill.
Yeah.
because it's not the worst thing in the world.
Well, but you be very careful. There's a philosopher who may argue it's the worst thing in the world, but keep going.
No, like there's like certain traits that this would not be the worst thing in the world.
Okay.
But I feel like you couldn't know somebody well enough in 10 minutes to say that. Like you're probably just going off of appearance, and that's a scary thing.
That's a good point.
Because like if I'm thinking like, oh, like caring, like if that's the trait that reminds you, then great. But like, you know,
Which is fine. Do we tell the girl that in the first 10 minutes of the date, or ever, frankly?
no, we don't.
Right. And so I think a common trend I'm seeing, a common pitfall that men, boys' night, are falling into on these first dates is bringing their mom into it too quick.
We got a bunch of mommy's boys on the podcast.
Yeah. Go listen to, what's your guy's name? We said we'd bring him in this week.
David Goggins.
Go listen to some
hard.
David Goggins. Give us a Goggins quote.
One time he was running and he said, if your leg's broken, no, it's not. Stay hard.
There you go. That's the people we need listening to the show. I'm tired of all these mommy's boys coming in here trying to find the wives when all they're trying to do is date their moms. I'm sick of it. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
I'm getting a little upset about this. Anyways,
Well,
yeah.
and we didn't even get into the last part.
Uh-huh.
Ask where to buy crack.
Oh, yeah, the crack.
You
Now-
forgot. Everybody listening forgot about the crack.
That's so true. I forgot about the crack. That's the craziest part of the whole story. What are our thoughts on that? What's our official stance on asking
On crack?
On crack, yeah.
On crack, it's a negative. Asking where to find crack could be a smart move if we're being honest. Because if she knows where the crack is, she's not the one for you.
That's a great point. Yeah, maybe that was a test, and yeah, he did a great job on that. Okay, so really, it just seems like okay, he went 2-1 on this date actually.
He basically said, "Will you go out with me? Let's
Mhm.
here. You be the girl. I'll be the guy.
Okay.
All right. Would you like to go out with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. You will go without me. That's awesome. Thank you, mommy. Also,
Wait.
where
Did
do
you say
buy
mom? Did
crack?
you say mommy? Did you call me mommy?
Yeah, but where do you buy crack?
Oh, I can tell you where to buy crack. But let's go back. Did you call me mommy?
I may have said that because you remind me of my mommy.
Even the part where I do crack?
You never know.
And scene.
And
Wow.
see,
That
that was powerful.
that's not a bad date. I've been on worse. Speaking of that,
Have you?
yeah, why don't we get into that? Because it's only fair, I think, that we talk about our first bad dates. So why
Well,
don't I?
Can I ask you? Have
Yeah.
I heard this story?
I honestly don't know. This happened kind of out of nowhere. This might be a failure on my part. I didn't really mean to ask this girl out. It just kind of like came into being. I was like slightly too flirtatious, and it kind of came back to bite me. Not bite me.
As you are.
I've been known to do it a time or two. But yeah, so it wasn't like the worst. It wasn't like, oh no, I asked out a girl who I don't want to go out with. It was like, oh, okay, whatever. So she texted me like an hour before the date. We were just going to get like dinner, very like casual dinner too. It was nothing
Where?
crazy. It's an Americana restaurant based out of Nashville. I don't think you
Called?
would. It's called ML
Firebirds?
Rose. ML Rose.
Rose.
Yeah.
Emma Rose. ML Rose or Emma Rose?
ML Rose.
ML Rose. What's the ML stand for?
Well, Melrose is like a popular like name of streets in Nashville.
Sure,
So they
yeah.
took out the E and just called it ML Rose.
Is it on Melrose Street?
They have multiple locations. This one was not. This one was in the Gulch.
I know the Gulch.
Yeah. So anyone listening in Nashville can go to the ML Rose in the Gulch and see. It was outside on the patio, and you can see exactly
If you
where this
want
went
to
down.
experience this, yeah.
Maybe I'll go swing by there sometime this week and take a picture of me just standing in the spot.
Okay.
I mean, no, she texted me an hour before the date, and it's just like, hey, is it cool if I bring my puppy along on the
Oh my
date?
God, I've heard this story.
Okay. Yeah. So, like at first thought, I'm like, yeah, I mean, no,
Seems
I don't.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
What's
fine.
wrong
I
with a
don't.
puppy?
I don't care at all. Like, at the very least, I don't care. At most, it's a puppy, and I like puppies. So I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I didn't say whatever to her because that's just me talking like a bro
Yeah, whatever
to boys.
Whatever.
night.
You
Yeah.
hardly know her.
So true. So we get to the date. The dog is there. It's a newborn puppy. It's very, very small, cute for
What
sure.
kind of dog?
I couldn't.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
really-
live in this memory.
I think maybe like it. It kind of looked it's very young. It was like a newborn puppy. Maybe like a cocker spaniel puppy. I don't know. White with like light brown on it. Do you need any more information? It was a girl.
White with light brown on it. I'm where I need to be.
Okay, cool. Welcome to the journey. So the dog is like chilling. It's on the ground for the most part, and then it's like attached to a leash.
As
or whatever.
dogs usually are.
Yeah, so true. But where things start to go kind of wrong is when the dog stops being on the ground.
Or if you where things start to go rough.
Yeah, where things start to go rough. Is she picks up the dog, which again is okay. It's a newborn puppy. I understand. I'm cutting out that rough thing, by the way. So I'm just gonna let you know that right now. So so she picks the dog. It's like in her hand, and she puts it like on the table,
Oh.
which is
Are
a
you
choice.
inside at this point?
No, we're outside. It's an outs.
Okay,
It's
okay.
we're on the patio,
I
so it's
don't
like
love that though.
I don't love it either. The dog is close to all the food now. It's just been on the ground.
You've already
Like,
got your food.
yeah. It's been on the ground, just like eating whatever it eats, and then
Like probably like trash.
trash for the most part. Yeah, and just like dirty shoes walking the ground too. And so but like I'm gonna overlook it. I'm gonna keep powering through and not hold that against this. It's a new dog mom. That's not easy.
oh.
It's a puppy.
Overlooking is hard for you based on your height.
Based on I'm 5'3", so it's not easy for me to do all the time. Yeah. So things are progressing still, and it's still going. It's like still whatever. And then the dog drinks out of her drink.
No.
Right, which is gross. But my thought was, oh, she did not mean for that to happen. The dog drank out of the drink, and that's unfortunate. But we have to keep moving.
Unlucky.
Yeah, let's get another one from me. Like, keep this one to the side. If the dog wants to lick it again, that's fine. But like, I'm not gonna drink out of this. So she doesn't drink after it the first time. Then the dog drinks out of it again.
Okay.
And she picks up the drink, no straw, by the way, and drinks after the dog.
No.
Yeah. And then she puts the cup down, and I feel like for the most part, I usually handle stressful situations somewhat okay. I literally just I can't like help it. I go, "Did you just drink after your dog?" And she goes, "Yeah, but it's okay. Their mouths are actually cleaner than humans." Which I'll be
That's
honest,
gotta be a myth.
I've been alive
I
for a long time. I've heard that myself. Do I
For a
believe
long
that could be
time.
true? Do I believe that a dog's mouth can be cleaner than a baby human's mouth when they're both born? Sure. Is that where that data comes from? I sure hope so. Because there is no way that dog that was just licking the concrete below us has a cleaner mouth than you. I just refuse to believe that. And so from that point on, it was frankly just like survive and advance through that date. And I was like, for as little as I was like into this to start, you've completely lost me now. So, things keep going. I'm like, I just got to get out of here. She leaves me alone with the dog when she goes to the bathroom or something. And, I'm just like looking at it like, what did you just do here? And she comes back. We get up and go. She says, we should do this again sometime. I go, yeah, definitely. And I hate to say this.
Yep.
I never spoke to her ever again.
She could be a web browser woman out there listening to this. So
Could you imagine? She's been
You-
prowling these episodes just waiting to hear if I tell the story again.
and
but-
yeah, I don't really blame you because that's weird.
It was enough
'cause-
to turn me off to the whole idea, for sure.
Yeah, and like it's one thing, like you said, it's accidental, and I still, even if it's accidental, I don't think I'm touching that water again.
It was a series of unfortunate events, and then she turned into the villain herself. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but what could you have done? Like that's the thing. It's so out of your control. You were probably helpless. Like it was. You were in a state of paralysis, just watching this go down, and you couldn't do a single thing about it.
Right. Well, life is all about like finding who works for you and who doesn't, and that's okay. I found that this girl didn't work for me, and I sure hope I haven't tracked her in a while. I sure hope that she's found someone who.
Now, wait. When you say that, you were tracking her at one point.
Yeah, I was following her every move in action. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to tell your date story now?
So we can just move on after that.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Okay. You know what?
I hope she's
will.
doing well though.
I think you might know. But anyways, my first date story is all right. So I'm in college.
Yeah, start whenever. Yeah.
No, yeah, I will. So I was born in 1997.
Okay, nice. 123 days after me.
True, that's true. So I was in college.
Sure.
This is not the year I was born. I was in college. Did I say that again?
This is unreal. You're crushing this.
No, and I am. And I was also crushing on a particular lady.
Oh.
So I asked, we were like studying together all the time. We had a bunch of classes together. So, I'm over there. We're studying. We're always hanging out with a group. It's always a group setting.
And you guys are kissing sometimes.
No, not at this point.
Nice.
And by the way, we don't do that. We hug.
Yeah, so
And
true.
So here's the thing. I asked her if she wanted to come get food at Stir Fry. Or I think the way I phrased it, I was like, do you want to come get Stir Fry?
Okay.
And so Stir Fry is a restaurant in our college town. I eventually worked there. I didn't at this point, but 2 of my roommates worked there.
Nice.
Shout out Ronnie and shout out Rita. Now, I worked there a little bit after this, but I go in, right? First let me back up. I pick her up.
Okay.
And before I pick her up even, I need to pick a starting point because I keep going back.
Yeah,
But-
this story hasn't even started yet, which is awesome.
And so
When it
I
does
was
start,
born
though,
in
it's going to be so
1997.
good.
No. I did text her, or we were texting, like, talking about going to Stir Fry, and she was like, "Oh, can blank come?" Which is one of our friends. I don't know if she wants her name out there, so I won't say it. And I was like, "Oh, I was thinking maybe it could just be us 2." And then she was like, "Oh, cool, yeah, no problem." And so we show up, and
Oh no.
retrospectively, I will let you in on a little spoiler. She didn't know this was a date.
Yeah, you know what gave that away to me?
What gave it away?
She invited a friend.
Right. So because we were typically in group settings up until this
Sure.
point. So we go in, and wouldn't you know it, Rita, one of my roommates, was serving us because she was there that day.
She
and
works
we
there.
Walked in. She
That
worked
makes
there,
sense.
and we were like, "Yeah, sick. This is awesome." And so keep in mind, she didn't know it was a date. It was half price sushi night. I've never eaten sushi, and she likes sushi. So I think it starts.
Oh, the
drinks
story hasn't
come
started
over.
yet. Oh, okay.
Like,
Has the story started?
Yes.
What
it
year were you
started,
born?
but 1997.
Okay.
And basically Rita comes over and she's like, "Hey, I've heard so much about you." And
Okay.
that's a strong start when you don't know it's a date, I feel like.
Yeah.
So had to get past that, and I was just like, what is she talking about, So then I order a dynamite roll. They have other food that I like that I should have gotten, but I wanted to seem cool, and I was letting her know I'd never tried sushi, and I wanted to seem adventurous with my foods, which is
so
you
not
know,
you. Yeah.
so not true and so not me. And so I get a dynamite roll, and it's like a fried shrimp on a roll. I don't know. It's disgusting. I had it. I hated it. I barely ate it. And then, we actually, the date wasn't bad. It was just the fact she didn't know about the date, tried to invite someone else. I made myself out to be a sushi lover, or at least someone who would love the idea of trying sushi.
Uh-huh.
And I was later proven to be a fraud because I will not try any new foods, and I hate it, and I love chicken tenders.
Yeah.
So all that sums up, we're still together. It went great.
Oh, you guys are still together?
But
No way.
yeah,
I would love to meet
the
her sometime.
fellas, yeah, well, you have.
Oh.
To the fellas, just say the word date when you ask people, and also
Mhm.
don't get sushi. Sushi's terrible.
Right. Those are your 2 pieces of advice.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
everything else worked out.
Yeah, and so she doesn't care at all that like you don't eat any food besides.
She does care a lot.
Okay.
She actually hates the fact that I do not eat any food. And she hates the fact that I won't try any food because I originally said that I love trying new foods. And here's the thing.
This whole relationship was built on lies.
I'm a liar.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. But at the end of the day, that's what boys' night is all about. Learning how to gaslight your way through life. So
Yep.
at the end of the day, I think you're giving the best advice out of anyone. So I think you've crushed this.
Thank you.
I feel comfortable enough that we've agreed on enough to just kind of wrap up the episode, but continue our special that we've been kind of going through since last week. The story of us, Matt and Tyler from Until We Agree.
And where did we leave off last week?
So we left off saying we had theater 1 together, freshman year of high school, and then the final sentence was we didn't speak again for 4 years, which is essentially completely true. I think I'm trying to remember because we seriously throughout high school we did not talk at all. We didn't have classes together. We didn't hang out outside of school ever until, so maybe it might have been 3 years.
Because it was like the summer before senior year, right?
Before senior year, we started playing spike ball a little bit together, and then we started playing golf a little bit together.
Yep.
And so we kind of the way I look at our like friendship progression is we kind of have these legacy moments, that we kind of can like look back to and like benchmark, like, okay, this is like a point where we turned another corner in our friendship. So theater 1 juggling is one of those moments where we turned a corner. Being on stage together was a moment we turned a corner. Then we kind of let that fade out. And then 3 years later, we started playing spike ball, which I don't think we would necessarily turn a corner on. I think we're just kind of like there together, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Then we go and play golf together. And golf is fun. Golf is whatever. We're driving home. You pick me up. We're driving home. And I start playing in the car Long Hot Summer by Keith Urban.
Oh, baby.
And that was kind of one of those moments where we kind of just looked at each other in the eyes and just started rocking. And we just kind of knew that something special was brewing right there. You know?
Because it's going to be a long, hot summer.
We should be together with my feet up on the dashboard now. Singing along to the radio.
Oh, what a beautiful sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was I think the next moment where I was like, okay, we are friends. But then here's what happens. Senior year comes and goes. We forget again. So I don't see you again through all of senior year really until the next summer. Summer comes around again and we start playing golf again. And I think that's really I think that's the point where we become friends in the sense that like we're friendly, and socially we will see each other more often. Right. So I think, why don't we lead into freshman year of college and then I think we call it there, because I think that progression kind of continues. So do you want to take it from high school ending into freshman year of college?
Yeah, because we kept playing golf a little bit, and intramural wasn't freshman year though, was it?
Yeah, it was. It started freshman year a little bit.
Okay. Because we played a few years. Yeah. So basically there was a soccer team, and actually, no, it wasn't freshman year because I wasn't on it that first year and you guys were really bad, and you recruited me because I had recently gotten in shape and you heard that I scored 8 goals in 8 games in my ASO league at 18 years old.
Yes, the child's league that you guys were playing in at 18 years old. Yes, the college students.
Yeah. So I had scored 8 goals in 8 games because I'm really good.
Well, you were playing children. I was
playing children, but still, I scored a hat trick in 11 minutes in one game. And yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy experience, out of body. But so we go into that. You hear through the grapevine that I'm good, and I go in.
Let's make it clear. Our soccer team before Tyler, I think we had scored 1 goal ever. Never won a game, obviously. I was the goalie. Never won a game. Post Tyler, we never won a game still.
Yep.
But we did start scoring, and we had a few moments where we were competitive.
I didn't score a goal.
Yeah, you had a chance to. You got fouled in the box, and then
I got fouled in the box, which, if you know soccer, a penalty happens.
Yeah, which is essentially a free goal for anyone who's good at soccer, especially at this level.
Yeah, and someone said, "I'll take the penalty instead."
Someone who had no right to, had not earned the right to take that penalty.
Yeah, and so I let that happen, unfortunately. But yeah,
it.
It's whatever. We move on. It was just intramural soccer. I'm not great at soccer, but
one thing that did come away from intramural soccer was what happened a couple of times when we carpooled together. another Benchmark Legacy moment.
So this might signal a pattern because a song comes on.
Uh-huh.
And what song is that? It's One Direction, Drag Me Down.
And let me just tell you right now, nobody can drag me down.
Nobody.
Nobody. We're in the car together. We're getting amped up for the game. And for whatever reason, that's the song that comes to Tyler's mind. That's like, this is an amp up song for us. We had started to kind of talk a little bit throughout like our soccer matches and everything, that we both kind of have like this like love and like passion for music to a degree with each other. And so we kind of like were talking. He's like, and Tyler was like, I'm really working on this last big note, like, because if you don't know the song, go listen to the song "Drag Me Down" by One Direction. I'm sure it's kind of underground indie song. You may not have ever heard of it. But the song ends with Harry Styles or Zayn. I don't know what. I think it's Harry. He hits this like crazy high, long, like belty note. And we would just take turns just shouting at the top of our lungs.
Butchering it though.
Disgusting. Anyone who ever heard it, I'm sure is worse off hearing wise, just for having lived through it. But even to this day, every time we're together, we're gonna throw that song on and just see how much better we've gotten at singing overall, and just who can. Yeah, and so it's one of those things that tied us closer together. Leading into junior year of college, which we're gonna stop here on, which is really where things really start to change. So I think that's enough of the story of us for the week. So I'm good to wrap it up. I think, as always, leave us a comment on what you want us to debate. I think we have a pretty standard debate episode coming up next week, which we're super excited about. We already have a lot of topics ready to go, which will be good. But if you want to get in the Q&A section, we didn't do one this week, but we will do one next week. So leave a comment on Spotify. What else should you do on Spotify, Tyler?
Well, you can follow us and you can rate us 5 stars. We had a clown come in and rate us 1 star. And
that is
really, it brought our numbers down a little bit.
It's devastated the ratings, yeah.
But we'd love for your support. It's free to follow and rate 5 stars. Then follow us at Until We Agree on Instagram.
Yeah, that would be great. Participate. We try to do stuff throughout the week on Instagram and on Spotify just to keep everyone engaged. So be a part of the episode next week. You right there, you listener right now, I'm talking to you. You could be the next Buffalo Legs, and you don't even know it yet. So Noah it yet either. You could be Noah too. So we're super appreciative. We love the Rat Pack.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you for listening.